Okay, the last video got cut off somehow. We were talking about the oil filter. You can see where there's a oil filter would be attached to, or that would be the fill for the oil filter, the pressurized side. And that loops around and goes to the return. That's just returns for the timing cover. So this would have had an oil filter on here somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, but it would have been someplace kind of obvious. The downfall of this is you're actually losing oil pressure through this because it's just a loop. It just takes oil pressure out of the galley and just dumps it into the bottom. So you actually have lower oil pressure because of that. Normally it'd be higher because you have the resistance of an oil filter. Although it should be a bypass, really. I'm not positive on this one, but a lot of times they're a bypass filter, which means it only flows when the oil pressure is over a certain amount. I'm not 100% positive on this one. Forget where I left off on the other video. I put SA30 in here because that's what I recommend for non-filtered engines. That's a non-detergent oil, because you want the debris just to not be in suspension. If you have a filter, then you want the debris to be in suspension, so you use a detergent oil so that to keep the debris so it can flow into the oil filter and become captured. You don't really want it circulating. You don't want the debris circulating. You want it to not do that because you don't have any way to catch it. So it just goes places you don't want it to be. So as far as the overheating, the coolant is full. So there's a couple things that could be going on. Maybe the thermostat is sticking. I can use a temperature gun and make sure that it's opening correctly. Other things could possibly be when this came in, the RPMs were relatively high and it was misfiring pretty badly. What I'd like to do is a tune-up to it. Timing, if your timing's too far advanced or even too far retarded, you can cause not only running issues but overheating issues. I would like to check the valves. I'm sure these are not hydraulic for this gear. It's not a big deal, but it's outside the 1 hour inspection. I want to look at the plugs and see what they look like. That'll tell me an indication of running issues. And the other possibility, of course, is that the sending unit for the gauge is incorrect. Possibly this isn't overheating at all, but telling the gauge that it is, because it's the sending unit and the gauge have to match, and if they don't, then you just get wrong readings. You could read much colder or much hotter, or you get absolutely ridiculous settings if they don't match. I'm going to do like a carburetor adjustment, but I will use a temperature gun and make sure that that the coolant is flowing the way it's supposed to be. And as far as the interior goes, I haven't really spent any time in here other than the pull it on lift, but having the steering wheel feel like it's about to fall off would drive me crazy. And then this is incredibly floppy. So I want to pop that off and see what's going on in there, because that doesn't feel right at all. So I'm just going to remove the cover and take a peek. So overall, it's a super nice car. I really like your car. I hope you don't feel like I'm making fun of it in any way or demeaning it. But there are some things that I think would make for a greater experience for you. All right, that's all for me for now.